All right, welcome to the Slaw Sports Show. I'm your host, as always, Cole Noble, aka Slaw, and we're here today for some instant breakdown because we have a breaking trade in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers have acquired quarterback Sam Darnold from the New York Jets in exchange for a 2021 second round pick, a 2021 sixth round pick, and a 2022 fourth round pick. So the Carolina Panthers, they've got their quarterback now in Sam Darnold going into this season and also the next season in 2022 because they announced that they will be picking up his fifth-year option at quarterback. So now, they locked him in here relatively on that rookie contract that he's still on when the Jets drafted him third overall back in 2018. So this is a big news for the Carolina Panthers now finally splashing and landing their quarterback. They tried to get going back to earlier in the year when they tried to get Matthew Stafford from the Detroit Lions, couldn't get that trade done. And instead they, turned their attention over to Deshaun Watson. Looked like that they were going to make a heavy push to land Deshaun Watson in a, blockbuster trade is what it was sounding like until recent allegations came out against Deshaun Watson. Now that was pretty much out of the picture. So Carolina, instead of going and now turning their attention to the eighth overall pick, in terms of landing a quarterback, they went out and they got Sam Darnold from the New York Jets. And instant reactions that I have from this move and from this trade is why? You have the eighth overall pick. And, in my last mock draft, Sauce 2.0 NFL mock draft, I had the Panthers selecting Justin Fields from Ohio State, which would have been a steal at number 8. And you actually had them trading up to the fifth overall pick, to be exact, with the Cincinnati Bengals. But nevertheless, I had the Panthers landing Justin Fields, which would have been perfect for Joe Brady's offense, having a dual threat quarterback with all the weapons of Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson around him. Would have been a perfect environment for Justin Fields to succeed. But instead, the Panthers, they're not going to go with the draft. They traded, and now they have Sam Darnold from the New York Jets as their quarterback going into this season. So I don't like the move. I see why the Panthers did this, but I think going through the draft to land the quarterback would have been the better scenario here. If you're the New York Jets, or excuse me, if you're the Carolina Panthers, to land your quarterback, I think it would have been a better option to go through the draft and, like I said in the 2.0 mock draft, trade up or stay at 8 and see if one falls to you. But instead, now let's move on. The Panthers have Sam Darnold. That is locked. And now for the next 2 seasons, he is going to be their quarterback. So now let's assess the draft for the Panthers, and then we'll switch to the other side of this trade. So now at number 8 for the Carolina Panthers, they have different avenues to pursue here. Obviously, number 1 is going to be if Penny Sewell from Oregon falls at offensive tackle, you take him. Build that offensive line, get the best player available at the draft right there at the 8th overall pick. If he falls past Cincinnati and falls all the way down to 8, if that's not the case, I think the best realistic scenario for the Panthers at 8 is going to be either Jalen Waddle or Devonta Smith out of Alabama, getting one of the 2 Alabama wide receivers and just keep building that offense around Sam Darnold now that you have him on board. So add either Smith or Waddle to that wide receiver room with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and just go to work. Allow Sam Darnold to have all the options available. The other avenues they can pursue is just going obviously on defensive side of the ball. Micah Parsons, Patrick Surtain, 2 front-runner names right now that I can see on defense the Panthers pursuing at number 8. But in my opinion, the way it's shaped up right now, I would have to say that the Panthers have to go with one of those 2 wide receivers in Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle. So now it's switched to the other side here with the New York Jets. So the Jets out of this trade now have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks in this year's draft alone. So obviously at number 2, it's a lock. Go ahead and get the Sharpie out. The New York Jets will be selecting Zach Wilson, in my opinion, at number 2. I said it in both mock drafts. This pretty much just puts the staple hammer down on Zach Wilson to the Jets. Zach Wilson will go into, in April on the 29th. Zach Wilson will be selected, in my opinion, to the New York Jets and be the franchise quarterback. All of the talk the last 24 hours has been the Jets possibly keeping Sam Darnold and still drafting a rookie quarterback and just letting the 2 kind of coexist together in that quarterback room. But instead, this room is now wide open for a rookie to come in at the second overall pick. All signs point towards Zach Wilson, but there's still the unlikely scenarios of Justin Fields or even potentially Trey Lance at number 2. But in my opinion, it's going to be Zach Wilson, and that's pretty much going to be set in stone for the New York Jets. So I still think the Jets got a pretty good value out of this trade. The second round pick this year, a sixth, and then a fourth next year. A lot of value that can be had with those selections. And, it's an upgrade of what the consensus around the league was that the Jets were going to get for Sam Darnold. And that being either potentially a third, maybe a fourth, maybe lower into a fifth round pick for Sam Darnold. The market just kept dropping. Perfect opportunity for the Jets to capitalize here. And in my opinion, got a good package back for Sam Darnold. And this is going to work out. I think in the long run, Sam Darnold now at 24 years old, going on to 24 years old this summer, he has an opportunity to prove himself and revitalize his career with Joe Brady and Matt Rule on the Carolina Panthers. And just again, that whole cast around him, adding in potentially a star wide receiver at the number 8 overall pick to go along with the 2 they have. Sam Darnold is now primed for a year of improvement from what we saw his first 3 years in the NFL. I'm excited to see what he does with Carolina. And the Jets, they're going to be moving on from Sam Darnold and instead will look to the horizon with their new franchise quarterback at number 2 overall. So that's my instant takeaways from this draft. So thank you for watching. Keep up with the date on all things NFL at the Sauce Sports Show. Follow us on Twitter at Sauce Sports Show. A lot of good things coming. And also, we will be having a live first round NFL draft live stream as well. A lot of things to look forward to. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.